All right, welcome back, Year 11. On to Exercise 2B, and it's got a massive title, Displaying and Describing Categorical Data Distributions. In other words, it's making the data easy to read and to interpret. We're going to be doing this two ways. We're going to be taking data and turning it into frequency tables and bar charts. Now, just remember, this is just for categorical data. So this means that frequency tables and bar charts are useful tools for looking at categorical data. When we're looking at numerical data, we'll look at other tools. Now I'm going to use question 2 to show you how to do a frequency table and a bar chart from your textbook. So let's have a look at that now. Okay, so for question 2, you're told it's a question about shoe size. Now, this is a good one. I chose this because even though shoe sizes are represented as numbers, you need to realize that they're actually categories, because it means your foot fits in the size that it would be a category 8, which will fit feet between a certain length and a certain length. After that, you go into the next category, which is a size 9. So it definitely is categorical data, and that's why we'd be able to do a frequency table and a bar chart for it. Whether it's nominal or ordinal, hopefully you realize that there is, a logical sense to it. You can go up through the numbers in order, so it's ordinal. But let's get on to making a frequency table, and we've got to include frequencies and percentages. Okay, so I've set up my table. I've got my variables here, which is shoe size, and I'm going to write down the shoe sizes as I go. Over here, I've set up where I'm going to put the frequency. So there's the raw number and the percentage, and I'll show you how to work out the percentage. So what we do is we look at the shoe sizes and we see what the first size is. So we look up here and we can see the smallest number is a 7. So let's write 7 right there. Okay, and we have got 1, 2, 3 7s. So I'm going to write 3 here. Okay, the next size up is an 8. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 8s. Next size is 9. So let's put that there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Then 10, we've got 1, 2, 3 of those. 11, got 2. And 12, we have got 1. And if we have a quick check, we make sure that we have actually accounted for everything. And we have. Okay, the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to tally up my total. So 3 plus 7 is 10, plus 4 is 14, plus 3 is 17, plus 2 is 19, plus 1 is 20. And remember, it told us earlier that 20 were sampled. So I'll write 20 in there. Okay, now we go on to work out our percentages. We're going to use this formula here. Percentage frequency equals the count, which is this number here, 3, divided by the total, which is 20, times 100. So 3 divided by 20 times 100, and it should give you 15%. I'm going to write that over here. Now I don't need to write percentage again. I've already got percentage at the top. So I'm just going to write 15. Okay, we'll do that again for size 8. So it's the count, which was 7, divided by 20 times 100, and that'll give you 35%. Okay, so you just write it in your table over there. Let's just quickly finish out the rest. So 20%, that'll be 15% again, 10% and 5%. Now we can check that we've done it correctly by making sure these add up to 100, because we should have 100% if we've counted everything. So 15 plus 35 is 50, 70, 85, 95, 100. We're good. Now, if you end up just a smidge below 100 or a little bit above 100 because of rounding off, that's okay. So you might end up with like 99.99 or 100.01. that sort of a value is okay. But if you're quite a bit off, you might need to go back and check your sums. So that's the frequency table. Now, if we compare it to the original list of numbers, it's got exactly the same data, but you can tell a lot more from it. For example, it's very easy to tell that the most common shoe size was size 8 because it's got the biggest number here. So that's our mode. You can also tell there was hardly any size 12s, only 5% of the population. So because we've reorganized the data, it's actually a lot easier to read and a lot easier to understand as opposed to just a list of raw data. That's why we make these frequency tables. Okay, I will show you how to take this information and turn it into a bar graph, bar chart. Let's go over some of the rules about bar charts first. So the rules are, you have to have the frequency or the percentage on the vertical axis. So that's the y-axis. Okay, y-axis goes up and down. Have the variable choices, so all the different shoe sizes are going to go across the horizontal axis or the x-axis. Now, short bars tell you that there wasn't many for that choice, and tall bars tell you that there was lots of that choice. So the taller the bar, the higher the frequency. Make sure you have a gap between each bar. This is not a histogram. Histograms don't have gaps, and they're only used for continuous numerical data. We're doing categorical data, so we've got to have gaps. And each category is represented with one bar. I'll just check that spelling there. Oops, a daisy. Okay. All right, time for our bar chart. So when we look at our frequency table, we can see that the highest frequency we had was 7. So I'm going to want 7 going up and down the y-axis, and I've got 6 categories and I need gaps, so I'm going to have to draw a line long enough for that. So we'll start here and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should be enough. And up for 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there we go. So we've got our axes drawn up. Now we had to put the frequency going up on the y-axis. I could choose to do the percentage frequency or the number frequency. It really doesn't matter which. All it changes is the values that are right. I'm going to do number frequency. So I'll put in my scale and add the numbers, and you'll see how, because they're evenly spread numbers, they're evenly spread up the scale. Don't forget an axis label, which will be either frequency or percentage frequency, depending on what you do. All right, let's do the x-axis. The label for this one is shoe size, and we're going to want to leave gaps each time. So I'm going to draw the first shoe size, the bar here. And now it's shoe size 7, so I'm just going to write a little 7 down the bottom. Leave a gap, 8, leave a gap, 9, leave a gap, 10, 11, and 12. Oops, daisy. Okay, so I've got that all put in. Now I'm going to add my bars. So if I look at the first one, it goes up to 3. So size 7 has 3. I'm going to want to get my ruler handy. And I'll just move you out of the way. And 7 goes up to 3. So I'm just going to draw a little dash there. And then I will draw my bar up to 3. The next one is 8, and it had 7. So again, I'll put myself a little marker there and then draw the rest of the bar with my ruler, so it helps it look tidy. Now you can see that there must have been a lot more size 8s than size 7 because the bar is taller. Let's see what else continues on this pattern. Okay, so there it is, all presented up. I've got my 2 axes, I've got my frequency going up the y-axis, I've got my my variables for my categorical data going across the horizontal axes. The tallest bar represents the most frequent number, or shoe size I should say, which is 8, and we can see the shortest bar represents the least frequent, which is 12. The only thing I'm missing is a title. And the question told me it was a sample of shoe sizes of 18-year-old males. So I'll put that as my title. Okay, looking at the table very quickly, I want to draw your attention to this tallest bar for size 8. That's what we'd call the mode. So it's the most common shoe size. It's the most common variable in this set of data. You might be asked to identify the mode in some of your questions in today's exercise. Okay, that's the notes for today. Don't forget you're doing questions 1, 2, 3, and 6, and it should take you about one period to get that done. Good luck, and don't forget to upload it to Sector once you're done, please.